In the next case, Magnus has an advantageous Carlsen endgame against Vladimir Kramnik in the Tile Memorial 2013, and it is white to move. But objectively, the position should still be a draw. What gives white the best winning chances? What did Magnus play? King g3, very strong. Magnus doesn't rush, just keeps his very valuable winning potential. Yeah, and wants to make pressure in the next moves, hoping to force a concession from Kramnik. Bishop takes h5, of course, would be a big mistake, because rook endings have a much higher drawish tendency than Carlsen endgames. And here, a draw could be agreed immediately. This is, of course, not a good winning try. Yeah, and now it's more difficult. How to defend with black to move? And h4 check violates the endgame principle, do not rush. White gets then two connected path pawns, and they are very dangerous. Of course, it's a very long-term plan, but in the long run, in whatever 40, 50, 60 moves, doesn't matter, white plans to come with the pawns. Black's pawn is completely harmless, fully under control, and there's no real way to deal with this strategical threat. It's a very long-term threat, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't make it less dangerous. Here, I don't know. Rook f6 is a mistake. Black can still try to defend otherwise, but basically I don't see a good way for a setup that draws easily. So over the board it would be next to impossible to defend here anyway, probably. Better is to improve the rook. Excuse me. That's wrong. To improve the rook first, as Golubev gave in chess today. Rook h1, a1, rook a4, cutting off white's forces. Black's rook is very active. The bishop protects everything nicely. And well, here I guess this should be drawn, and Kramnik would have drawn it because it's not too. It is very difficult here for white to suggest any reasonably good winning plan. This was Magnus often plays in such a way that it is easier for him to play the side than for his opponent. He gives the opponent problems, and he's extremely good at that. Yeah. Well, I guess this should be a draw, objectively. Black is so active and well coordinated. Yeah, well, here in the game I don't see a good plan to draw, but this is a mistake leading to a 100% clear lost position. But of course the others cannot be said with computer certainty that white wins, but over the board it would be next to impossible to defend them. Okay, here's still some accuracy is required. d2, well, the pawn is then falling anyway. Slightly more tenacious might be this, but it loses as well. So I just want to show one beautiful line. And now g4 first, and then improving first and winning later. While king e3 would be a mistake, leading to a beautiful draw. Yeah, it gives more space to black's king. And yeah, it looks as if white would win here as well. The plan is realized, starting with king e3. But the problem is a beautiful defense. And it's a draw. Double attack. And only white's wrong rook's pawn remain. White would be winning without the bishop, of course, but the poor bishop can now protect the pawn, but then the king comes to the saving corner, or, yeah, the pawn is lost directly. Okay, but Magnus, without any doubt, wouldn't have made the mistake, but would have played g4 first, improving first, and only winning the d pawn, which is doomed anyway, later. Okay, after d2, white has to be a bit careful, but okay. What now? g4 would only be a draw, allowing the invasion of black's king, but after h4 it's lost, because white has full control, and despite the wrong rook's pawn, this is also almost winning, always winning, and unless there's a direct or. And Magnus is extremely strong when converting such kind of advantages. He's really Yeah, he even sometimes converts advantages in his games which are objectively not convertible, as we've seen here. But when they are convertible, then yeah, it's clear that he does it. And now some care is required, but okay. And then now the H pawn first, and then the G pawn later, when control is established. Now, finally, control is established. The G pawn can come. Vladimir Kramnik makes a nice joke, but of course, Magnus doesn't take, because it doesn't matter how many wrong rook pawns you have. It's always drawn, but G5, of course. Kramnik really fights to the very end. Tries another stalemate joke, but Magnus, of course, doesn't take. Improves the bishop instead. And finally, Kramnik resigned as a pawn endgame. Is easily lost, of course. A fine performance by Magnus Carlsen. He poses problems for his opponent Vladimir Kramnik. He doesn't rush. Kramnik rushes. Okay, the defender exchanges pawns. Usually it's a good guideline, but here the problem with the guideline is that white gets too mobile connected pass pawn and his price is too high. And here I can't say if it can still be defended, but over the board against Magnus it's probably also next to impossible to stop this long-term strategical threat of advancing the pawns. But rook f6 leads to a technical 100% lost bishop endgame from this Carlsen endgame.